housing. It's our preferred asset class. So how did we get from the 6th largest country in the world, that back in about the 1860s, we had a population of about 250,000 people. That's it in the 1860s. A typical house costs $400, believe it or not. Fast forward now to the year 2026, and we've got a population of 27.5 million, and a typical house costs 1.1 million. So if I do my job properly, we're going to understand how we got from $400 to 1.1 million over 237 years. What adversity have we been through? What challenges did we have? What was housing supply like? What was property taxes like? What did governments do? How did lifestyles change? How did technology change? We're going to cover all that right here, right now. But first, what I'm going to do is give you a statistical summary of the last 237 years. We've broken down the population into blocks of 5 million people. The first 5 million people, well, it took us from 1788 all the way to 1918. So 130 years, and our population was then 5 million people. A typical house in Australia back in 1918 was about $1,900. The next block of 5 million people, it took us 40 years. So we went from 5 million to 10 million people by the year 1959. And at the end of that 40-year period, a typical house was worth about $7,500. The next 5 million, 10 million to 15 million population, took us just 23 years. So almost half what the previous 5 million population took. So we're at a population of 15 million people by 1982. And in that year, the combined capital city median house price was just $55,000. But as you'll see through the coming episodes, at $55,000, we were still complaining about housing being too expensive. From 15 million to 20 million population, that took us 22 years. So a very similar time frame to the 5 million population growth before that. So we're at 20 million population in the year 2004. And the average annual house price across Australia was $360,000 back then. Now, your era, everyone alive, everyone watching this would have been alive when we went from 20 million to 25 million. That took us just 14 years. So from 2004 to 2018, we added 5 million to our population. And at 25 million people in the year 2018, a house was worth $730,000. We're halfway through the next block of 5 million people. Australia's population at the last end of the last financial year, in the middle of 2025, was 27.5 million people. So it's taken us 7 years to add 2.5 million people. We're growing at much the same rate as the previous 5 million block. Typical house in Australia, as we're recording this episode, is $1.1 million. I anticipate that Australia's population will reach about 30 million in the year 2030. So that's statistically how our country's grown and what housing values have done.